Happy Monday, everyone. This is Martha with Nature Niche, and I am very excited this week to be coming to you from the Chippewa Nature Center. And I have Lindsey Harrell here. She's an interpretive naturalist, and she's heading up the turtle monitoring program. Is going to tell us a little bit about what that entails.
All right, so we have a team of 3 that check these, that are doing the turtle processing at the moment. So right now, through a grant, we are doing a turtle monitoring program where we set out 14 different hoop traps. Basically a big net with 3 hoops through it with fish baited inside, and actually suet feeder cages. So we got a little crafty putting those together, but we put 14 traps out. And then the next day we'll check them and see what kind of turtles we're getting. We are tagging turtles, so specifically already we've tagged 1 wood turtle.
Cool.
Yep, 16 Blandings turtles, which both of those species are species of special concern in Michigan. And then we've tagged a handful of snapping turtles that are a little bit, we got a few small ones, but we also got big ones. So our goal for this program is to check out the population of turtles at Chippewa Nature Center. We work really hard at maintaining our ecosystems to keep the balance and to see how we can help further the success of our ecosystems, and to be able to educate children, families, adults on the conservation of turtles and stewardship methods for their own property. And on top of trapping turtles, we're also covering turtle nests. So today we'll discuss, we'll look into trapping turtles, and we will look at some turtle nest boxes. So this is one of our hoop nets. We are in Wood Duck Pond at the moment. As you can see, just like I said prior, there's 3 hoops encased by a net, and we have a suet feeder with some fish inside that attracts the turtles in. So the first time we pulled out this net, we had, I think it was 48 different painted turtles in it. So you can get a lot of turtles at once, or you can get none. But the turtles stay in here for no more than 24 hours, and we make sure there's a lot of room for breathing because turtles are air breathers. So we have to make sure they're staying safe while they're in here. A lot of times you can see a lot of movement, and the water will be rippling if you have a good amount of turtles. Martha and I walked up on this net, and it wasn't moving a whole lot, so I have a feeling we may not get turtles in this one, and that's just how science goes. Nature is never super predictable. So yes, we got skunked on this one, but we have a couple more nets to check. We got a painted.
Ooh.
So we got a small painted turtle in our net. We aren't tagging the painted turtles quite yet. We only have a certain amount of tags, so we're waiting a little bit longer in the season until we start tagging our painted turtles, because we've done about 400 turtles so far, and the vast majority of them have been these little guys. So we would get a lot of recaptures if we tagged all those turtles and wouldn't necessarily have enough to go around for the species of special concern. So what we do with the painted turtles is we measure them, we determine their sex. So females tend to be significantly rounder because they have to bear eggs, so their shell is a little more round, and sometimes they even, we've noticed that the females will have a higher higher top shell, which is called the carapace. The males also have very long fingernails, and that it helps them to attract their ladies by flicking them in front of their faces. Quite different from how humans do things. But so what we're gonna do is see how many millimeters the top shell is, or the carapace. And we are at 69 millimeters, so I will write that down. And after we are done with him, we say good luck.
Good luck.
And let him go, or it go on its merry way. But this, we have noticed so far in our trapping process that the males, we had a lot of males at first getting trapped, but now we're starting to see a lot of females coming out. And the age classes are varying. A lot of times we'll get small painted turtles, but all of our Blandings turtles have been pretty significant. They're all mature adults, which is great for having babies, but we also want to see those smaller ones because that tells us that they are growing to the age of sexual maturity, which, like Martha said in her last video, can be 15 to 20 years depending on the species. So through this process, we hope to, as we tag and protect our turtles on CNC's property, we hope to see that variation in age classes, because that will tell us that our little baby turtle friends are making it to sexual maturity.
Yeah, and we'll have future generations.
Yeah, we want future generations of these slow growing animals. Okay. So we got skunked again.
Okay.
Which happens.
Yep.
You don't. Turtles, we were noticing yesterday there was an influx in turtles digging their nests. So they could be on the move. There could be a lot of different reasons why we're getting skunked today. That's just kind of how research goes. You just keep putting them out and see what you get. Sometimes we do change nest or net locations. This pond here, we had our first Blandings female caught. So we've only had 2 females so far. We're hoping for more. And overall, in that net, when we pulled that one out, we had 3 Blandings turtles at once. So it's either really good, or you get skunked.
Yeah. Wow.
All right, so we have gotten skunked on our turtles that we were hoping for Blandings, or at least a smaller snapper to be able to tag, but I will still show you the equipment we use. We do have special permits that allow us to legally do this research, so please don't attempt this at home. You are always welcome to, if you see us tagging turtles or working on a trap, to stop by. We absolutely love that, and we have done impromptu programs before. The reason why we're doing this is, one, to help the turtle population and to learn about our property a little bit more, but it's also to educate all of our friends in the community as well. So let's go ahead and dig into what our equipment is. So this is my fake fish friend. There's a tiny microchip inside. Oh, you can see it a little bit right here.
Oh, yep.
So that is about the size of a grain of rice. And just like your dog or your cat at the vet gets a chip implant, it's the same exact process. It's just in a turtle and a little bit of a different location. So what we do when we have a turtle is we first have to scan it. This is our microchip scanner. And it says, welcome, ready. And then we get a number. So this fish helps us test our equipment.
Okay.
And we have a number. So anytime we have, we'll say, a Blandings turtle, we want to scan it first and see if it's a recapture. We love recaptures because that's data that we can plot on a map to see where that turtle has been moving. We have had, I think, 3 recaptures of Blanding turtles so far. So that's really exciting stuff. So if it does not have a microchip in it, then we, just like you would get a shot at the doctor, you have to have your skin prepped and sterile to have a procedure done. So what we do is we have alcohol that we will wipe. It's basically the equivalent of our groin, but on the turtle. So it's in the back leg. There's a really nice fleshy spot that we will clean up with a Q-tip, and we will use a syringe, with the microchip already loaded. Let me see if I can get this off. Sometimes they're a little more stubborn than other. There we go. So this is what it looks like.
Okay.
So what we do is we have the turtle on its back, and after the skin is prepped, we go ahead and inject the microchip into the turtle, and we will clean and sterilize all of our equipment for the next time we tag. So we have a whole bag full of these syringes already prepped and ready to go. And at the end of the day, we go ahead and clean everything up and get them ready for the next week. So we do trap for turtles about once a week. And we will continue to do so really until turtles aren't really active anymore. And we want to make sure, like, as we get later into the season, that the weather's going to be appropriate, because we want our turtle friends to be nice and healthy. So after the turtle has its identification tag, we do use super glue to seal the wound so no infection can get inside. Usually there's not a lot of blood. The turtle doesn't flinch. Usually there's no blood. But just to be on the safe side, an open wound is not necessarily safe for an animal in nature. So we want to seal up that wound to keep that turtle safe. After all that's done, we have to recheck. We recheck that area, get the scan, make sure it's a working chip, and record all the data. So the sex, whether it's a juvenile or an adult, the size. So we use our calipers to see the size of the turtle. And we record any notes. Like sometimes we'll take information if there is a cracked shell. So a lot of times turtles, they do get injured in the wild, so sometimes you'll be able to identify it by a healed over crack on the carapace or the plastron. So, and we have tweezers in case there's any leeches. I will pull a leech off with my fingers, but I prefer not to. So we have tweezers just in case that happens as well. So again, we do have the special permits for this, but there are ways that you can help at home and help CNC if you'd like to do that as well as you walk the trails. And that's through reporting any turtles that you may see. So if you see a wood turtle walking around, if you see a Blandings turtle walking around, you can email us, call us. You can email at info@chippewanaturecenter.org. You can snap a picture through Facebook or Instagram and send it directly through our messages. So whatever ways of communication is easiest for you, you can report that. And at home, you can, if you have a property that often turtles like to nest on, you can cover their nest, and we'll go see that now.
Great.
These are our turtle nest cages. Some of you may have joined us for our workshop during Earth Week in April. These are what we were making. They basically resemble a cardboard box flipped upside down with the flaps spread out. So what we use is basically, this is rabbit cage wiring with J-clips, which you'll need special pliers to connect those. That just helps make it not snag up so much on stuff. And then we will use stakes that we make. We just get a thick gauged wire. Anywhere they sell like wire or pet material, like Tractor Supply, Menards, you can find your supplies from there. And of course, feel free to reach out to Chippewa Nature Center and we can guide you in the process if you have cages, if you want to make any of these. So what these do is protects predators from getting to the nests. A lot of times turtles will lay their eggs in the evening or in the morning, and then that night raccoons, skunks, animals that benefit from the nutrient-rich eggs, they'll dig up the nest, and the mortality rate for turtles is very high when it comes to nest predation. So this helps keep the predators out, but we do create an escape hatch for the turtles when they emerge. So we have about a 2 to 3 inch by 1 inch entrance at the bottom of the box, so that they can exit and once they come out. However, it is a good practice after about a month or so to take these off. Predation rates decrease because as more rain comes and the weather happens, the scent of the egg laying process and the mother being there is no longer really there. So you have a better chance at the eggs surviving. So you don't have to keep these on the entire incubation rate, which it takes about 60 days, depending on species, for the turtles to fully develop and emerge. If you do see a turtle's nest and the eggs are on the outside, that means it got predated.
We're too late.
It's too late, unfortunately. Yeah. But that is a good way to learn what turtle eggs look like when you do find a predated nest, or to see kind of what area they're liking. Well-drained soil. They like a sunny place because mom doesn't stick around to sit on her eggs like a bird would. She lays them in a sunny, well-drained spot and then says, "Good luck, babies," and she's off. So turtle nests look different based on the species. These two are painted turtle's nest, more than likely. A lot of times the painted turtle nest, I notice, will have about a golf ball sized indention left behind. It's a little eroded now, but the first day I saw these, the indention was very significant. So you can look for those on your property. And if you suspect a turtle nest is there, it doesn't hurt to go ahead and cover it. You could be wrong, but it's better to be wrong than the next day walk up and see the nest destroyed by a predator. So this is one method we use. These we use if the turtle has nested off the trail. We do have to let people walk and enjoy our property. So we have another method that we cover nests with, and we'll go see that now. This is one of those unfortunate events, but it's a part of nature where a turtle nest has been predated. So you'll see and this was a snapping turtle nest. All the eggshells are curled and broken. That lets me know that an animal came by and dug up this nest. Can't blame them. It's great nutrients, but we can help turtles by covering the nest when we notice them. This is just now going to turn back into soil, and that nutrients help feed that animal, but we have protected some other turtle nests, and we'll go see that other method I was mentioning earlier. So this is the other method we sometimes use at Chippewa Nature Center, and it's basically just a flat grate, piece of that chicken or the rabbit wire. It's about 1 foot by 1 foot. If you're gonna do it on your own property, I would go a little bit bigger. Martha and I noticed that I have another spot that has the same method, and the animal started to dig underneath at an angle. So if you have like 2 foot by 2 foot area, that's going to discourage the predator a little bit more, because at the end of the day, they want something that's going to be a little easier to get their food, so they don't burn a lot of energy. So if we make it hard for them, they'll leave the nest alone. So again, this is just done with a flat piece of caging, and I secured it with those stakes once again. So when you're doing turtle cages, If you would like to make them at home, it's best. Some of ours are about 1.5 by 1.5. Some are 1 foot by foot. The bigger, the better, to be honest, because it's going to be a little more safe for them. And because if some animals get savvy, they could burrow under a different way.
You don't want to puncture with a stake either, right?
Yeah, and you want to be careful about where the eggs are and not puncture any with the stake. That is a very good point, Martha. So I will leave these on for a couple weeks. I just want the scent of the mother and the egg laying process to diminish a lot, significantly, before removing this and possibly attracting any predators back. So what I do is put it in. I cover it up here with a little more soil, but you don't have to do that at home. I do it just so it looks a little nicer for our property. And then I do use a flag nearby to indicate that this is where I left my nest. So it's good to, if you have a GPS, mark where your coordinates are for it, or leave a flag for you so you don't forget. You want to remove it even before I would a month. I'll probably leave this for 2 or 3 weeks, just to make sure we're keeping baby turtles safe, and they're not emerging to any obstacles. So these are the ways that we at Chippewa Nature Center are helping protect the nesting turtles. If you see a nesting turtle, or if you see a Blandings turtle or wood turtle walking around on our property while you're visiting, please feel free to take a picture of the turtle from a distance as well as the surrounding area. So that gives us an indicator of where that is located, and we will do our very best to come help that animal. Thanks for having me on today, Martha.
You're very welcome. Thank you for all the great info.